Have you ever been faced with a really tough choice at work? One where the stakes are super high and the right path just isn't clear at all? Well, today we're going to demystify executive decision making. It's the skill that truly separates good leaders from great ones, and honestly, it's the engine that drives real success. I just love this quote because it's so true, isn't it? We really do learn best from our mistakes. The secret is to see those so-called bad decisions not as failures, but as these incredibly valuable lessons on your journey to becoming a better leader. It's all about that cycle of learning and growing. So, why does making good decisions feel so tough these days? Well, it's because the world we're all working in now, this new normal, is just unbelievably complex and it's moving at lightning speed. I mean, just think about it for a second. Leaders today are juggling a million things at once. You've got these huge global markets on one hand, tiny local regulations on the other, and a market that seems to change every single day right in the middle. It really is a perfect storm of information and pressure. Okay, so how do we even start to make sense of all this chaos? Let's try to break it down into 5 key pressures. You're dealing with massive global shifts, the constant demand for short-term results, technology that's advancing so fast it can change an entire industry overnight, and of course, more risk and more competition than ever before. It's a lot to handle, right? Navigating that kind of storm requires a really clear framework. And the very first step, maybe the most important one, is just understanding what a decision actually is and what it isn't. Now, this is such a crucial point. Problem analysis and decision-making are 2 completely different things. Think of it like a doctor. First, they have to diagnose the illness, right? They run tests, they analyze the information to understand the problem. That's the analysis part. Only then do they prescribe a treatment, and that's the decision. You just can't skip the diagnosis and jump straight to the cure. So what is a decision, really? At its core, it's about taking action when you're at a crossroads. It's about committing to a path, even when you don't have all the answers. I mean, if the way forward was totally obvious, it wouldn't be a decision, would it? It would just be the next logical step. So how do we navigate all this uncertainty? Well, this 8-step model is a fantastic roadmap. It gives you a clear, structured way to tackle pretty much any problem, guiding you from start to finish. The first half of this model is all about preparation. So let's say your company's sales are down. Step 1, you have to identify the real problem. Is it the product, the marketing, something else entirely? Then you decide what a good solution even looks like. Are you aiming for more revenue, more market share, or maybe just happier customers? You prioritize those goals, and then you start brainstorming all the different ways you could get there. Okay, now we get to the action phase. You take all those ideas you brainstormed, and you see how they stack up against the goals you set. You pick the best one, and then you actually put it into action. But here's the really key part. You track the results. Did sales actually go up? Are customers happier now? This is how you learn and how you get better for the next time. Just like that opening quote said. But a great process is only as good as the people who are using it. You could have the best roadmap in the world, but if the driver doesn't know how to read it, well, you're not going to get anywhere. And that's where the human element comes in. So what does it take to be a really effective decider? It's about building a culture of trust, a place where people feel safe enough to share their ideas, even to challenge the status quo. It's about communicating clearly so everyone is on the same page. And maybe most importantly, it's about getting your team excited about the plan and committed to making it happen. Knowing what the ideal looks like is one thing, but it's just as important to recognize the common pitfalls that can totally derail the whole process, even when you have the absolute best intentions. The biggest trap that so many leaders fall into is analysis paralysis. Getting so caught up in the data, so buried in spreadsheets that they never actually make a choice. But here's the thing, not making a decision is a decision. It's a decision to let things happen to you instead of you making things happen. The next big roadblock is ego. When a leader thinks they have all the answers, they just stop listening. They bulldoze over other people's ideas, and in the process, they destroy the trust that is absolutely essential for any team to succeed. Honestly, it's a recipe for disaster. And of course, when you've got a leader who doesn't listen, you get a team that just doesn't care. And that's our third pitfall, failing to get that buy-in. You can have the most brilliant, genius plan in the world, but if your team isn't behind it, it is dead in the water. Execution is everything. So, what does all this mean for you? How can you take this and become a more effective decision maker in your own role? Let's just quickly recap the key takeaways. Here's what it all boils down to. First, build trust. Encourage debate and let your team know their voices are actually heard. Second, be decisive. You have to know when it's time to stop talking and start doing. And third, own it. Take full responsibility for your decisions, whether they turn out good or bad. And that brings us right back to where we started. You are going to make bad decisions. Everybody does. The real question isn't if you'll make them, but what you'll learn from them. Because at the end of the day, that experience, that's the secret to making better ones next time.